Hello, and welcome to the Coming to Knit podcast. Today it is Friday, February 18th. It's 9:30 in the morning, and it's a very nice day. They have promised, instead of promise, the weather forecast say that it will be a severe storm this evening or during the night. So right now it's like the center of the tornado. It's real quiet outside, a little bit of sun, not much wind, but very cold. Welcome to the podcast. Today I have a finished object. I don't think I've had that for the last few episodes, so I'm very happy to actually being able to show you something that I have finished. So I'll be talking a little bit about that and some new projects and new things on my needles, mostly socks actually. And what else? We just got home from 3 days at the cabin. We have a cabin like 2 hours north from where we live, close to Skagen, which is a small city here in Denmark where people really go to in the summer. It's a really touristy but wonderful place. The nature there is gorgeous, and there's just so many beautiful things to do around there. But in the winter time, when it's all quiet, I really enjoy it just as much. So we've had 3 quiet days there, and it was very nice. So we just got back yesterday, and I'm ready to do a little episode for you today. And then on Monday, we start back at work. That's fine too. My finished object is the forest pine sweater. I showed you this in the last episode. I had finished one sleeve, and I was working on sleeve number 2. I have had it washed, gently blocked, and now I feel so much more, what's the word? I am sure now that it will actually fit my nephew Casper, because once you wash and block your projects, as you know, they have a tendency to grow a little bit and fall into place. So I think we're good, and I'm sure he would want it as soon as he knows that it's complete. But since I'm going to that yarn festival in March, I really want to keep it so I can bring it to the yarn festival for people to see the finished object. We will see if I will succeed on that or not, and if I see him before that, he'll probably take it, and I think that's fine too. I knit this in Pernilla and Alva. Both yarns are from the Danish brand Filcolana. Alva is a 100% alpaca, and Pernilla is a Peruvian Highland wool, and together they just match the gauge perfectly. So, and also the look of the sweater, I wanted it to be like a rustic look. It has not much of a halo, but still that rustic real wool feel to it. So I just thought that was a really great yarn combo. So I'm very pleased with the result, and the texture and how it feels. I think it's spot on what I wanted. And also because the original sweater is done in 100% alpaca from Pisquali, and that is a very, very lovely yarn. And I couldn't get the exact same yarn for sweater number 2, so this is a lovely alternative. And I always like to do my patterns in more than one kind of yarn, just to see how it changed, and also have a cheaper alternative. I think is also always a good idea. That was finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is socks. I actually, maybe I should put both on the blockers to give you a better idea of what you can do with a sock set, or if you have just one contrasting mini, because I kind of made a mistake, but now I'm glad I did. Sometimes mistakes are good, mostly they are. So this was the intention. I haven't washed these yet, that's why they are a little not perfect on the sock blocker. Okay, so my first idea was to only do a contrasting heel and cuff, because in a 20-gram mini skeins you will not have enough yarn to do 20 rounds of ribbing the toe and the heel for both socks. So I just wanted to do contrasting toe and cuff, so I could do matching socks. But of course, when I knit sock number 2, I forgot. So I had done like 4 rounds of this contrasting purple, and then I thought to myself, well, maybe it's actually a good idea when I have these socks with me on the knitting festival, that people can see both. So if you really want to have the contrasting toe and heel, you can do this and just do a few rounds on the contrasting cuff. Yeah, so you can see both. Or you can just stripes or whatever with the mini skein. Yeah, this is knit in my own yarn. So this is the Camajo sock base. It is in the colorway Greenbow Alabama, and the contrasting color is called Dark Plum. And I still have some of the Greenbow Alabama left. I think I only have 1 or 2. Yes, I only have 2 skeins left of the Dark Plum, but I'm sure I will be dyeing up more once I get around to it. Yeah, so I really like the colors. I like that they are subtle, and still you have a lot of what is that called? Variegation. A lot of different I'm looking for a certain word. In Denmark, you would say that the color has a lot of spill, that it's lively, and that it has different tones of the same color. And this definitely has a lot of, I think you call it variegation. Let me know down below if you have a better word that I don't know. The colors are like vibrant. No, or is vibrant only for really strong colors? Anyway, I have casted on another pair of socks because I wanted also to bring to the yarn festival. I'm going to Fiberfolk on March 12th, which is a Danish yarn festival, just a yarn event actually, on just one Saturday. It's just for one day. And of course I want to be knitting something in my own yarn so people can see. And this is my gold sock base, and it really has a lot of glitter to it, but it's so hard to show on camera. This is in Cinnamon Spice. Maybe if I find the yarn, it's back here because I'm working on sock number 2 right here. Has a little sparkle to it. Can you tell? Yep, here you can see a lot of sparkle. Really has a lot of sparkle, this yarn. So sock number 1, and I still have all my light bulb markers that I use to keep track of how many rounds I do, so that I know sock number 2 will be exactly the same. On this one I have done 20 rounds of ribbing, which is a twisted rib, and 70 rounds before I mark for the heel. Then I did 5 rounds on the heel before I did the increases, and the toe. 65 rounds before the toe. And I'm a European size 39. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. I really like just to plain vanilla sock with not too much fuss, especially if the yarn like this has a lot of specks. I do not like to combine both specks and a pattern. Someone told me what the difference is once. So if the yarn has a lot of specks, I like to do vanilla. If the sock has a lot of pattern going on, I just would prefer to work with a more solid color. So if I want to do my Sandpiper socks, which has this little pattern on it, I would use a more tonal. But then again, when I do my baby bubbles, I really love for the yarn to be crazy. So use whatever yarn for whatever patterns you like. Another thing is that I also just wanted to see how the colors would look on the once I knit it up. So that's another reason for me to just do a plain vanilla. Yep. So that's all I have on my needles actually. Once I have finished, no, I have one more project. I'll go get that. I forgot that in the living room. I just need to get this sock done as well, and I'll have these ready for the yarn festival. And let me go grab the project I have in the living room. Hold on. So since we just spent a few days on the at our cabin, I brought my big knitting bag. This is my own brand. I have these online, and I really love this bag because it can hold all my other project bags and all my projects. So when I go to the cabin for like a week or so, this will hold everything I need. So I have my needle case in here from Magpie Fiber. Maybe I've shown this before, but I really love this case. You can roll it out and I'll have everything in here except needles falling out. So you can see I have all my needles in here, all my wires, everything I need. And here I have like all my stitch markers and measuring tapes and whatever I need. No. Anyway, I can find that later. So in here I also have, okay, so we went to the cabin Monday and stayed until yesterday, Thursday, so that's 3 days. And as a knitter, you're probably like me, scared more than anything that I will run out of projects to work on. So except for the socks, I also brought my Melancholy sweater. I think I showed you the last time. I haven't made any progress on it since. It's still here. It's I'm knitting in Madeline Tush single ply merino with glitter. And the merino that not the merino, the silk mohair that I'm using is from this Mohair by Canal, which is a Danish yarn, and the combination of those two are just perfect. So this is, let me show you the pattern. I am in no rush with this sweater. It'll be fine. Actually, this is Ina. She's my test knitter. She's not my test knitter, but she did test knit this one for me. And she sent me this photo of the finished, of her in the finished object, and I just thought she looked so gorgeous, and I love that picture. So I asked her if I could borrow that for the pattern, and thankfully she said yes. So thank you again for that, Ina. And I think I actually also put a picture of myself in here just to let someone my size see that you can wear this sweater no matter the size. Okay, this was the Melancholy. What I wanted to show you, whoops, is the project that I'm working on now. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. So in this yarn, which is my single 366, and I only call it that so you know how much so you know the yardage compared to my other single base, which is a little bit thinner. This is a 366, the other one is a 420. For now, I think I'm gonna have both bases, but we will see what happens in the future if I'm gonna decide on one of them. Never mind, I just dyed up this yarn. I have, let me show you because something happened. This happened. Is it a little dark? I thought I did the same color in both of my dye baths. It is the same color, but this one just got a little bit more dye than this one did. So you could argue that it's the same color because hand-dyed yarn is never the exact same. But I still think I need two names that are similar in some way. My husband said light plum and dark plum, but I already have a lot of colors named something with plum. So I need something else. I don't want anything to be called anything yogurt. But if you have an idea of something that, a cute name that kind of explains that this is a little bit lighter than this one. Can you tell it's a little darker over here? Anyway, I just cast it on yesterday for my baby bubble cardi in this color, the lighter one, and I just think it is so cute. Look how cute it is. And that's what I mean when I say that sometimes you can totally do something that has a lot of structure or pattern or lace and still work with a very speckled yarn. I think this combo is just so cute. So that's another work in progress in my own yarn. It's so fun for me to be doing some of my patterns in my own yarn. And this doesn't mean that I will only be doing things in my own yarn, because hopefully I can still work with other hand dyers and support other yarn brands. I just think it's fun to see how it looks knit up. I really want to do another version, maybe the baby bubble sweater in the gold, in my gold sock base, which is the same as this. I just think for a kid that's a little bit older. I don't know why I wouldn't do a Stellina yarn for a newborn, but for like a 3-year-old, I think it'll just be adorable. So these are my 2 projects right now. The plan was actually to be working on a new design with Esther, my daughter Esther. She's 15. She had an idea for a design. We were gonna be working on that at the cabin, but something else happened. She wanted to knit her own sweater. Not the new design, but just one of my own designs that I have made a long time ago. She had seen a sweater online with stripes in white and brown, and she just wanted a sweater with the same color stripes. So we found one of my patterns, and she just changed it a little bit. Let me show you. This is the birthday sweater. This is Esther when she said, actually told me, Mom, can we change the picture because it's so old? So this is an older picture of her, of course, and when you're 15, it's a picture that's 2 years old is very old. Anyway, this is the sweater, and this sweater has stripes with glitter, and she didn't want that, so she just found the colors she liked, and now she's working a striped version of the birthday sweater. The colors she picked are from Filcolana. It's the classic combination of Arwetta and Tilia, which at least here in Denmark is a very popular combination. So this is the brown combo. I will link down below the colors, and this lighter stripe is this combo right here, and this is her progress so far. And of course, I'm very proud of her. So we decided to wait with the ribbing. The pattern actually says to work the ribbing in the beginning, but we decided to, or I decided to wait, because this is her first project. So we will just knit it according to pattern in the smallest size. I think her gauge is a little bit off, so we will have to calculate during the progress. But the neckline looks a little bit wide, so I think we will be having, we will need to pick up fewer stitches than the pattern says. Also, she wants the neckline to be narrower, more narrow. Anyway, she wants it to be narrow. And so it's a good idea if you're not really sure about the neckline. It's always a good idea just to wait with the neckline until after. I have it here on my here we go. If you are uncertain about how you want the neckline, you can always do the ribbing after. Never mind what the pattern says. If the pattern says you need to start with the ribbing, you can always just cast on the amount of stitches that you're supposed to have after the ribbing, and then go back and pick up stitches and do the neckline. Then if it's still too wide, you can kind of rip that out, the ribbing, rip the ribbing out, rip it back, cast on fewer stitches and try it on again. So that's just good advice. Even if it's with like German short rows, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can always go back and pick up stitches and do the ribbing afterwards. When I was a beginner, I hated when designers would tell me to pick up stitches afterwards, because then I didn't know how it would turn out. So you can also just now pick up stitches and see how it would look. So you don't have to wait until the very, very end, but it's a good idea to do it after you have cast it on, so you can kind of adjust it easier. Okay, I have to put this down because I should not be knitting on her project. But I was surprised. I did cast on the stitches for her and knit the first round, and then I gave it to her, and then she just knitted. And I think I taught her when she was 8 or 10, and she hasn't been knitting since, but still it was in her hands. So I think muscle memory is fun. So she totally knew how to knit. And then I taught her how to purl, and she said it's so much easier to purl. What? I think she'll change her mind on that when she gets a little bit more experienced. I think that was all the knitting projects I had for now. I will be going to the dye studio in a little bit to dye some yarn. I have not been dyeing yarn for 4 days, so my mind is going nuts with color combo ideas, so I have to go play. But oh, and I want to thank you all so much for the feedback on the Easter egg. I'm thrilled that you guys are excited and interested in the Easter egg idea. And I'm so grateful for the feedback. You give me really a good idea of what it is that you want. So I have decided that I'm going to be doing this Easter egg with a certain amount of minis. I haven't decided yet on how many minis I would put in the Easter egg. And then maybe just one skein of something that you can decide on your own. If you want to surprise a full skein of suck yarn, glitter yarn, gold yarn, maybe the mohair, that's all fine. I will be doing different varieties, so you can choose the one you want. The only thing keeping me from having this pre-order done now is that I don't know how to do a pre-order on my web shop yet. But of course I will be figuring that out, so I can get this set up and make like a pre-order thing, so you can have the Easter egg before Easter, so that you can either open it during Easter or start to knit before Easter, so you have an Easter project going. And yeah, so thank you so much for that. I really, really, really appreciate you bringing me feedback. So the question for today is what to name these babies. Nothing with plum, nothing with yogurt, nothing with ice cream. I would love something, maybe something fun. It doesn't have to be related to the color itself, but it would be fun with names that kind of is the same name, but it tells you that the one is darker than the other. Yeah, so hopefully you will give me some great ideas on this. And so the last thing I want to talk about today is some of the yarn that I dyed. I said in an earlier episode that I would never dye silk mohair. I changed my mind. I don't remember if I have shown them on here or not. This is cotton candy. This is powder. I don't have all of them in here because I just bought a thing where you can hang all your yarn that I'm gonna bring with me to the yarn festival, and I have all my yarn on there. This is Emerald's Grace and this is Sand Viper. I have lots of these silk mohairs online, so go check them out. I will link them down below. And also the newest thing, hold on. Okay, I ordered something fun. I have ordered the mega mohair. This is, let me see if I remember this right. I think it's 78% kid mohair, 13% merino, and the last, whatever is left, is a nylon. But this is like a cloud of fluffiness. And I just got this. I dyed some to my local yarn store. But I don't have that myself. I have this for me, for my shop. And I will be dyeing that later. If you are interested in this, I call it mega mohair. Other yarn dyers call it different things. Fat mohair, thick mohair. If you're interested, really truly interested, let me know what color you want me to dye this. I don't have that many. I actually only have 10 skeins for me. So this is just to try out and see if there's a market out there. So if you are interested, I will order more of this mega mohair. It's really fun to dye on, and it's also very difficult because it's so thick, so when you lay the dye on one side, it doesn't go through at all. So you have to really be patient and move it around a lot and make sure you have dye everywhere. I did 3 different colors for my local yarn store. You can check it out. If you're curious, I will link down below. So actually just link down below to all the yarn that they have that is mine. But let me know if you're interested in this. I will make maybe 2 different colors, 5 of each, I think. And then if you like it, I will buy more and dye more. I think it's so much fun and so cute and so fluffy. And I think it's cute to just knit up on itself or combine it with something to make a really thick sweater. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the episode, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't already do so. Yeah, take care out there, and if you are here in Denmark, stay safe during the storm, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.